So what is the difference between tight lacing and waist training? Hey guys, it's Morgan with BDSM Relationships and Education. I just have a very quick corset video for you today. We're going to talk about the difference between tight lacing and waist training. So if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on your notifications, and that way you can find out about all the awesome videos that I am posting. So this is going to be super quick just because there's not a lot to this. But there are two different there's a couple of different ways you can wear corsets. I mean, you can just wear a corset, have a small reduction, and, for an evening, and you're fine. There's no name for that necessarily. It's just wearing a corset. But if you want to get a little more into wearing corsets, there are two major ways that you can do this. The first is waist training. And this is a word or a term rather, that gets thrown around a lot. I'm going to talk about how to actually do waist training in an upcoming video, but a lot of people will talk about waist training and all this other stuff, and waist training is simply the long-term wear of a corset, and it will give you what's kind of known as a semi-permanent reduction. So what I mean by semi-permanent is that when you remove your corset after having worn it for quite a while, and I'm talking about the cumulative wearing of this thing, so I mean over weeks and months and years even, then you will sort of see a semi-permanent reduction in the size of your waist. And it's generally only an inch or two, and it will only last for a short time. So if you've only been wearing the corset for a couple of months, then that reduction may last for a few hours after you take off the corset. If you've been wearing a corset for years, then it may last a few days or a few weeks. And everybody's body is different, and there's absolutely no guarantee. You may not get any reduction once you remove the garment. One of the ideas behind waist training is that you are able to train your body into basically compressing more. So you can wear smaller and smaller corsets, but generally once you've taken that corset off, then you're not going to have that reduction anymore. And if you do, it'll only be a very slight reduction, and it will not last. So that is the idea behind waist training, and it is something that is quite a commitment, because you do need to wear the corset every single day for hours and hours at a time. And I will talk in a video about how to do waist training for sure. And then there's tight lacing. Now, I used to do waist training. I used to wear my corsets every day for a certain amount of hours. I even at one point worked up to wearing my corset for 23 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was sleeping in corsets. I don't do that anymore because my body just will not put up with it. So what I do now is known as tight lacing. So tight lacing is kind of, what it says. It's wearing the corset quite tight and getting a dramatic reduction. So generally the accepted sort of standard for tight lacing is either a greater than 4-inch reduction or more than 20% of your natural waist circumference. So tight lacing is not necessarily done long term. It's usually for an evening, for a photo shoot, for an afternoon, whatever it is. You don't wear these huge reductions for very long. So I personally can comfortably lace down about 8 inches. Depending on the corset that I'm wearing. Sometimes I've been able to even get to 10 inches, but that is a rarity. And a lot of that is just because I have, I am bigger, I've put on some weight, so there is a lot of me, or a lot more of me to squish. And then also I've got corsets that actually fit my body well enough to allow me to do that. So it's a combination of those things. So tight lacing is a great reduction, so more than 4 inches or 20% of your waist measurement. So it has to be more than that. Waist training is long-term wear of corsets in order to get your waist, train it down smaller, and you can wear smaller and smaller corsets. So that is the quick version of that. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and I will see you guys in the next corset video.